Joining me in the room podcast tonight to talk main event New England Fights 47 is the Viking, Jesse Erickson, in the room podcast. Thanks, my man, for coming on and giving me some time about this huge fight you got coming up, my man.
Thanks for having me, Steve. I appreciate it.
Dude, a lot to do here, a lot to talk about, a lot to cover. The last time we spoke was February 2020 after you just came away with a huge win at NEF 42, Symphony of Destruction, I do believe. Correct?
Yep. That was it.
Well, my
You
man,
got it.
let's recap, bro. We interviewed right after that fight. You had a great win in there, beating Josh Harvey. He was undefeated at the time. You beat him with a big armbar, man. Let's recap that fight and, how you felt after that fight, flying high on taking a kid out that's never been beaten before.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it felt good to get the win. Josh is obviously like a game opponent. He was 7-0 when I took that bout. I knew that he had a well-rounded game, but I felt I had a significant advantage on the ground, on the mat. So the plan was to get to the ground by any means necessary, whether I was on bottom, whether I was on top. And once he got the double underhooks against the cage, I felt like, all right, he's probably going to take me down at this point. So let's go down on our own terms and just go ahead and jump guard, which is something that I teach my guys. Don't do this. Don't pull guard. Don't jump guard. Like, absolutely not. Don't jump for the guillotine. It seldom pays off. But in this fight, I think it was the right decision.
Well, it worked out great. It was a battle to get that on, man. You went through some, some little transitions in there. He was fighting hard, and just at the end there, man, you flipped him over and you sunk it in, man. How did that feel, dude? You took out a young talent there, and in front of your crowd, bro. Co-main event. How'd that feel? I mean, you've been in great fights before and huge moments, but how'd that feel to you?
It felt really good. I felt really, confident and comfortable in there, thanks to my preparation, all the work I got at Central Maine Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the work I got at Recon, and my strength and conditioning work at CrossFit 196. Like, I wasn't surprised. You know what I mean? I felt like I knew that I was capable of submitting him. I didn't think it would be in the first round. We planned for it to be, a bit later on, but you take what you get when you can get it. So it was a good feeling. It was a good win, and I wish Harvey success in his future.
Yeah, big win, bro. And the last fight of before the whole world shut down, the last card. I think there was one more card in New England after that. I think it was Premier FC, and then that was done. As far as that win, when you won that, I mean, you fight here and there. You're a busy coach. Taking care of your own kids in there, getting them ready for the fights. But when you won this particular fight, you're flying high. You beat a big prospect there. Were you thinking of jumping back in there? Were you thinking, hey, I just got back on the map here. Let me keep the train rolling. Were you thinking about getting back in there, or were you going to take some time off after that fight?
Yeah, with the whole COVID thing, it was a wild ride, man. I was on some weird reality show like right before that. It was called Man versus Bear, and so I did that. I was on TV doing that or whatever, and then I had a big win right after, and then it was like the world shut down. So I didn't really get the chance to like capitalize on some of that publicity, and roll into the next one. We still thought we were dealing with the plague in the early stages. We didn't know what it was. So, initially I just stayed home, man. I got fat and, not real fat, but I put on some pounds for sure. And after about 6 weeks, once we kind of understood that, hey, this is not the plague, we'll be all right, or 6 months, whatever. I started training a little bit again, just with a couple of friends, or just with one guy. Really, we come down once a week. This was like real early on, still like right when everything shut down. And we would just like throw mats out on my porch, and we'd train like once a week out there because I just couldn't I couldn't do it anymore. I had to do something. I had to get some training in.
Well, there was a lot, tons of fighters in New England, all over the world doing the same thing, getting their little cliques together, their main training partners, people that they would stay with, and not, if something was going on really big here, not spreading whatever, we didn't know what was going on at the point. But
Right.
a lot of fighters made it through COVID better than ever. Some of them rested their bodies, some of them rested their minds, some of them, just sharpened their crafts and just honed it in. As far as your time off, I mean, you gained a little weight, you said, but I'm sure, once you got the ball rolling, what positives came out of COVID for you, if any?
Yeah, no, there was definitely some positives. I got to spend a lot of time with my son, which was great. A lot of time with my family, really. So I'm super thankful for that time that we got to share together. I definitely worked on some new stuff for jujitsu with my buddy Harps. Like I said, coming down once a week just to train and kind of troubleshooting things and working on new stuff. And it was good. And then after, like, I don't know, 6 8 weeks, whenever we started training again, uh, we we blacked out the windows at the gym. We're like, fuck it, come on in, like.
Dude,
We're gonna shut down forever. Like, we got to do something here. So uh, we got back to training, man. It wasn't like I had 2 years off or I just sat around and did nothing. Like, I put on a few pounds like in those first few weeks and stuff, and then I got right back to work. I love martial arts. I train year round, every year. You can ask anybody. They see me in the gym, 5 days a week, whether I'm in a training camp or not. This is what I do. I'm a martial artist and I love it.
well, Jesse, to go back a little bit, you talk about your preparation and stuff, getting for the fight, CM, BJJ, and that. As far as where your background and who brought you up in the game, who are your coaches, mentors, that got you prepared, and for that last fight, who gets you prepared at this moment for your fights?
Yeah, so I got a long list of people to thank, man. One of the first people that really got me into the sport is a good friend of mine who we lost recently, Jesse Peterson, and he, we used to travel all the way down to Massachusetts to train at South Shore Sport Fighting. We literally slept in the cage there numerous times, and that's where I got my start before NEF was even around. I made my debut on NEF1, but I have him to thank and those guys down at South Shore to thank for my start, along with Travis Wells, my jiu-jitsu coach. For he MMA was never what he wanted for his gym and for himself and stuff, but he always supported me and allowed me to start kind of doing some practices. And it just kind of slowly grew. And like at first, it was just guys getting in a room and like hitting each other. And eventually it grew into something else. Like we're teaching actual techniques, and we've got classes. We've got MMA grappling classes, kickboxing classes, jujitsu classes, nogi. Like, we've got a full program now, and it's really cool to see like how far it's come from 12, 13 years ago when I started with them.
Now,
And then for this fight, sorry, I know this is
no,
like
no, that's all right. Go ahead, keep
uh,
going.
for this fight and for the Harvey fight, Recon has been really big for me. Jonathan Dupree, Matt Proben, Darren Elder, like those guys over there, they just welcome me like I've been there forever. And they're giving me like just the kind of work that I need, like when I'm at my home gym, and a lot of these guys, they look at me like, oh, that's the coach. And sometimes I wonder, like, are they going as hard as they should be going with me? Are they like giving me too much respect, like, and then sometimes honestly, you've got to go like a little, you can't like tune up your ammies every day, all day, not that I could with some of them. Some of these guys
Yeah.
they're coming up, man. But it was good to get in there and get that high level work with those guys. And I'm super grateful for that. For this camp, I'm still with them, of course. Like CrossFit 196, like I said, for my strength and conditioning for that fight too. Like, they were huge with that. Thank you, Rachel Nutting, for all the help that you gave me. And then for this camp, I'm working with Chris Young quite a bit too. He's been making the trip down with Glory, and feeding me mitts and working on stuff with me. And I'm just super grateful to, like I said, I'm a martial artist man. I just love to learn. I don't do this, like, let's be honest here. I'm 35 years old. I'm 10-8. Like, I'm not exactly like kicking down the fucking door of the UFC right now. Like, I do this shit because I love it. And no other reason. I just want to, lead by example for my team and represent myself and the martial arts that I love to the best of my ability.
Excellent, my man. Well, before we get to your matchup and the main event that you're a part of here, I'm gonna flash some of the card because Matt's been putting out posters, every day, every couple of days. It's crunch time. We're a little over 2 weeks from this card. You mentioned getting some of your fighters ready. I did notice. I think I noticed one of your fighters or two of your fighters are on this card that you train. Is how many do you got coming on this card that are making it with you?
I've got quite a few on this card. We've got for pro, just one other pro other than myself, Nate Boucher. I'm really excited to see him get back in the cage. It's been a bit of a layoff, but he's looking sharp in the gym. So I'm looking forward to that matchup. We've got Tyler Parent. He's 1-1 right now, but he's got a really cool style, man. And you can tell when he gets in the cage that he's enjoying it, and that's one of the things that I look for. Like, does my fighter like it? Is this something they want to do? Like, are they doing this for Facebook likes and shit? And I don't get that vibe with my guys right now, especially with him. He just fucking loves to scrap, man. Like, he was smiling and shit when he was throwing kicks and stuff in the cage last time. I
Well,
love that.
I interviewed him. I think I was like, I interviewed him after the fight, man. And it's a great fight in there. Great fight. All those kids that I interviewed, man. Man, they seem like they're well groomed, not only in the cage but on the mic, man. They were excited. They're excited to give shout outs to the gym and you as a coach and all the other training partners that help them out, man. As far as what you're seeing with these kids coming up now, man. I mean, you've kind of paved the way. Someone paved the way for you. What are you seeing as far as these kids and the game that they're presenting nowadays? It's leaps and bounds, and people like you that are carving it for them and helping it get easier for them because you have all that knowledge from the past.
Yeah, and then real quick, my other fighters on the card, Curtis Willett. I think you interviewed him last time. And then I've got Cassidy's making her debut. It's been a long time since we had a female fighter out of our gym, so I'm excited for that one as well. It's gonna be a good night, man. Like, I'm excited for this. They're all looking good. They're all doing the right things. I don't have to chase people down for practices. They're just there. They come in and they do what I ask. I ask that you show up, and I ask that you put the work in. Um, the rest the rest of the pieces will fall into place. As long as you're in the gym and you're learning and you're in the practices and you're training, you're sparring, you're doing your strength and conditioning, and these guys are doing it, man. They don't miss weight. They show up on weight. They show up ready to fight. Their medicals are done. I don't have to chase them around like I've had to do with people in the past. Like, we got a good crew here. So I'm,
Excellent.
I'm really excited to see what they do.
Excellent. Well, as far as the Curtis kid, I had an interview with him. And one thing that I noticed about him, and I hear things in the back, and I hear, he came away with a great win, and he was already matching himself up for the next event. With I heard him talking to Peter. I heard him talk. I don't know if he talked to you. I know he talked to you, but I heard him talking to Peterson about a matchup he wanted, and he goes, "I talked to Jesse about it. He's okay with it if you're okay." So he was already thinking. Now I don't know if that's the matchup that he's got coming up now. I don't see his poster out there yet. Like I said, Matt's sending them all out now, so they're coming out daily. I have about 9 or 10 of them. I'm sure he's going to be releasing some of them. Can you say his opponent, or is that still under the wraps right now for Curtis's?
I could, but I haven't even told Curtis his opponent yet.
Right.
I'm not like, you either want to fight or you don't. Like, what am I going to give you your opponent's name so you can like Google him and go on Facebook and look him up for 8 weeks? Like, you'll find out when the card's released. And my job as a coach is to prepare you for the fight, and not get you hung up on the details. I don't need you worrying about the game plan. I'll worry about your game plan, and I'll coach you in a way that you're working on it where you don't have to be thinking about it the whole time. Like say the guy's a good grappler, like, well, why does coach make me start on the ground all the time? Like that's the type of thing that
Fig-
we
Figure
work
it,
on.
figure it out, Curtis. What's he got you
Yeah,
pinpointed on right now?
it'll be a surprise for him.
Well, my man, let's get to you as far as your big moment. You're fighting. I don't know the backstory here. I know Matt Denning trained at your gym. I don't know to extent or whatever, but let's talk about this, bro. All I know is he was a former training partner. He wants to have a fist fight with you for some reason. Can you elaborate how this matchup came about and what it's all about? If there's some grudge, what's on your side? What are you thinking? Shout it out there, my friend. It's all, the floor is yours.
Yeah. So the only reason I'm taking this matchup is because he knows too much. I have to silence him. Sorry, that was just one of his lines that he said in his interview that he did here. But no, man, he made some poor choices, and it was just time to move on. You can only help someone so long and try to guide them in the right direction for so long until eventually you have to be like, all right, man, you gotta do this on your own. You can't be my problem anymore. I've tried to help you, and so we parted ways and everything. And I don't. I said from the beginning, like, I don't need to drag his name through the mud and like air all his dirty laundry. Like, he's fucking doing that himself, man. If you listen to that abomination of an interview he did, he's handling it just fine. Sorry, my lights just went out.
That's all right.
And yeah, so without going into too many details, like initially, no, I have no interest in fighting like my former students. Like normally, like that, it's not something that I would do. That's not like a good look. But like, let's just say I'll make an exception for this kid. Like I'll make an exception.
As far as all right, so as far, I mean, how was he in the gym? Was he because he says there's other fighters in the gym that want to see you lose. Is this fabricated stuff? Is he trying to sell the is he trying to sell the fight? What's going on there? Are you gonna have students on the sidelines booing you when when you walk out? Like what's going
Oh,
on?
absolutely. They all fucking hate me. Everyone in my gym, they can't stand me. They want me to lose for sure. He's 100% right. No, man, I don't know. I think he believes his own bullshit, which is the scary thing. Like, um, I don't really like. What do I say to that? Like, does my coach want me to lose? No, he doesn't want me. He's going to be in my corner. Like, what are you talking about? Like, he tends to take like a grain of something and try to like turn it into some big thing that it isn't. So, uh, like with Travis, my head jujitsu coach and my employer, I literally teach classes. That's what I do for work. I do private lessons and teach jujitsu aside from fighting and taking care of my family. Um, he didn't want me to hang him up for any other reason than he wanted me to pursue jujitsu, man. He's told me before that he sees something special in me, that he thinks that I could, make a good name for myself in jujitsu. And and unfortunately, like I just I just love fighting, man. I've always loved the full I don't know, MMA to me has just been like I grew up watching Mortal Kombat and playing those games and stuff, and trying to copy the moves and shit, and like that that's always been what I wanted to do. And sure, I'm a natural grappler and stuff, but like I love all martial arts, and I just want to train and grow and get better. And I think MMA is the best outlet for me. Like I said before, like I am getting a little bit older, and with my record the way it is, like maybe I will, pursue more sport jujitsu matches and stuff in the future. But you'll never hear me say I'm gonna retire from MMA. I think it's and some people do it with class and stuff, and they really do never fight again too. But like on the local scene, like everybody retires, and then in 6 weeks that's their comeback fight and shit like that. Like I'm gonna fight when I feel like fighting. I'm gonna fight when it fits my schedule and my time and my family. My family comes first, and my students, come second. I come third. I, I it takes a lot to prepare for a fight, and you've got to be a little bit selfish. You got to go do the things that you have to do. I can't be in everyone's corner on fight night like I'd like to be. Um, but I gotta get this win. Whether I'm fighting Matt Denning or Josh Harvey, it doesn't matter the level of opponent that I'm fighting so much as what I want to represent myself.
Excellent, my man. Dude, just to go away from this and get on the matchup itself, just to talk about the skill of what's going on in there. As far as Matt, I like Matt. Interview him here and there. I don't watch any interviews other than Joe Rogan podcast and other podcasts like that. I don't watch local interviews or anything like that because I like to be surprised when I talk. So I haven't
Yep.
watched Matt's interview. I don't know what was going on. All I saw was the poster that Matt Peterson put out. A little quote from the interview. So I'm sure it was fired up with a lot of stuff from Matt. But as far as the matchup here, man, you're 10-8, Jesse. Submission master here with you.
Oh,
Is
thank you.
Matt is well. I think I got your shit right here. I think you have seven submissions and 3 KOs in your. You have all finishes in your 10 wins, correct?
Yeah, man, I've had a lot of first round finishes, but I've had far too many losses too, like first round losses too, which are just you prepare so long for a fight, and it just sucks so bad when it doesn't go your way, and especially when it's like early in the fight, like Dylan Lockhart caught me early on, fair play, like he caught me, and but it's like you put in so much work, and it's just crushing when the fight gets stopped, and you're even it wasn't a bad stoppage, man. He fucking dropped me, like I fell on the ground, and I don't say Victor of Valhalla just for shits and giggles. Like I'm like willing to die out there while I'm out there. You know what I mean? Like going into the fight, do I want to die when I get in a cage? No. I got a family that I love and friends that love me. But like my mentality when I'm in there is that Victor of Valhalla. Like I'm trying to win. I'm not trying to get a decision either. I'm gonna leave it all in the cage. Has is that always the smartest game plan? Maybe not. Maybe sometimes I should just try to point fight my way to a decision. But that's not why people are buying tickets to watch me fight. They want to see me do what I normally do, and that's finish the fight
Yeah,
or die trying.
10 of them. 10 of them. So, yeah, you've sent a lot of people unhappy away, losing in their first round. So, to get to the matchup, Matt's 5-12. He's on a big losing streak here.
Mm-hmm.
You're coming away with that huge win 2 years ago. He's been active. He's been in there. So, there's nothing. I mean, he knows what the fire is going on. It's been 2 years for you. What do you think your feeling is going to be like going in there and then going against a former opponent who has been saying a lot of stuff that probably has lit a fire under you a little more than usual?
Yeah, I'm kind of cold about all that stuff, man. Like maybe it's my beard hiding my emotions, but that was another thing he said too. But anyways, I could be fighting anybody, and it's the same thing, man. Like it's once they close the cage door, none of this bullshit matters anymore. You can run your suck all you want online and say whatever you want, but we're getting in a cage. It's gonna happen. So I mean, why talk about it when you can have a scrap already? I see a lot of guys online too, uh, like just like going back and forth with each other. Like you guys are both MMA fighters. Just fucking fight already. Like, but it's like I don't. I only fight for this promotion. I only fight for that promotion. Like I get it. Like Cage Titans has their guys, and NEF has their guys, and why do you want to send them away to fight somebody dangerous in another state when they could be selling tickets at home and making a good amount of money there? So like I get it, but like if you really don't like each other, just have a scrap about it already.
There you go, my man. Well, as far as what we expect to see on the 14th, you're the main event. You got a lot of students going to be in there, man. What do we expect to see from you after, 2+ years away from the cage and the main event coming back?
Yeah, like I said before, whether it's Matt Dang or anybody else, I'm coming in shape. I'm coming like fully prepared to go. I mean, I just got back from training, man. We just sparred 10 rounds. Like I'm ready to go. Like we could fight tonight. It doesn't matter to me. I love this shit. Uh, just I'm hoping that it's not a first round finish, but that might be the case. I hope he gives me a good fight, man. I'm not going in there to just, run through him in 30 seconds. I have to, when you fight a guy like this, you have to make it obvious that there's levels to this game, and that has to be obvious. But I'm not in a rush. I'm going to be calculated and pick my shots and take the finish when it's there. I'm not going to go out there and try to just finish him as quick as I can. That's how you make mistakes and get caught. Um, so, I mean, I'm looking forward to finishing him.
Well, my man, a pleasure talking to you. A pleasure being able to see this big fight, man. Big grudge match. But one thing I want to say before I let you give your shout outs and stuff like that, I'm a meme god. You guys all know that out there, man. As I follow Neff in here, because I want to interview more fighters as the card gets even closer. There was one there was one post you put out there with the Ken doll head, man, that had me cracking up, man. It was like, I mean, dude, I wish I had the picture. I didn't put the picture up there, but that was definitely a 10-9 round right there. Or it could have been a 10-8 round right there because I messaged you right away. And I said, that was fucking spectacular, man. That was a good one, man. So,
Thanks, man.
yeah, that
You
was,
gotta hype the fight a little bit. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Like, I don't like the drama and the bullshit, but like, we're selling a fight. Like, you gotta do a little bit. You gotta take your jabs when you can.
That was an awesome job, man. That was really good, man. That was really good. I like that stuff. So with that said, man, fabulous, bro. Fabulous talking to you. Fabulous seeing you back in the cage and the main event with a bunch of training partners and students ready to make that walk with you. So with that said, we're 2 weeks away. Typical question: what's left in 2 weeks here? Hard training for another? Oh well, a little more settled down. Like what goes on in the last couple of weeks before this main event?
I like to suffer for like, especially the last like 3 weeks of the fight. Like, I figure if I can get through this week here and I can deal with John Dupree like double legging me across the room, body slamming me and shit, then all the training I'm doing this week here, and then next week, and then the week of the fight is usually when I calm it down and just mitts and cardio and stuff like that to stay in shape and to lose the weight. Not that it's a big cut for this one here. I got probably only like 10 pounds to cut. So, but yeah, it's I like to really push hard those last 3 weeks up until the fight. So it's gonna be another week of suffering, and then I can slow it down. The fight should be easy, man, compared to this.
It always is, man. The fight is the fun part for you guys, man. So with that said, bro, we got 2 weeks left. I don't know what's left out there for tickets, probably, general admission. I know you were very pleased with the feedback and the support you were getting for this fight. So shout out anyway, if you have tickets, any way we can get tickets. We got a couple of weeks left. I know there's a stream. I think there is. I know Neff has had a stream available the last 2 or 3 cards. I don't think this will be any different. So any of that information you have, send it out. Thank yous, shout out sponsors, and I'll let you get some rest tonight, my man.
Awesome, thank you so much. Yeah, so you can just hit me up on Facebook if you need tickets. Like, I'm happy to sell you. I think mainly what's left is bleacher seats, but I got plenty of those on hand. So if you need tickets to the fight, just shoot me a message on Facebook Messenger or Instagram, and I'd be happy to mail them to you, meet up with you for them. Ideally, have you swing by the gym so that I don't have to travel all over during this last week. But we'll make sure you get what you need. So just contact me if you need tickets. And then, of course, I want to thank all my gyms that I mentioned earlier: Central Maine Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and head coach Travis Wells, Young's MMA, and Chris Young, who will also be in my corner on fight night. I'm super grateful for that and for all the work that he's given me. Recon MMA and John Dupree and my boy Matt Probin, good friend of mine. Like, I'm really excited to see all those guys on fight night and just go in and do what we do. CrossFit 196, thanks to them. And then my sponsors, Duval's Auto Sales. They've been with me for a long time. Thank you. Chris O'Leary. I don't even know why he sponsors me, man. He's booked out for tattoos for like a year. He just told everyone like not not to even message him for appointments anymore because he's so booked up. But tattoos by some asshole, Chris O'Leary. Get one if you can, but you probably can't. Therapeutic touch massage. Jen Sprague, she's been helping me a lot over the years and years. She supported me and always giving me like cupping massage work when I needed it. Muscles get sore and you need that work. And then new sponsors, Carrier Landscaping. Thank you so much. And then my host of my after party too, a new sponsor, Whaley Restaurant. So if you guys want to come by and have a beer after the fight, come on down. Yeah, you too, Steve. You better be there, man. Come on by.
Wait, listen.
And then,
we're always looking for a place to go after, man. We're always confused. Me and Travis and Lars, we're like, wait, we end up at fucking McDonald's. That's what we
dude, come through. They're gonna have food, man. Yeah, Whaley's got the best Chinese restaurant, best Chinese food around. Like you can't do better.
We're definitely doing it.
So come through after, have a drink and have a bite to eat. And then, of course, all my family and friends, training partners, everybody that's given me all the love and support that I need, even though you all want me to lose. I love you so much. And thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome, my man.
And then Steve, thank you. Thank you. You do a lot for the community and a lot for, up and coming fighters and old assholes like me that, we need this publicity to help, spread the word that fights are coming up and things like that. So thank you for what you do.
You're welcome, my man. We all feed off each other here, man. So I enjoy it. It's something that I love to do, man. Get your stories out there and watch what's next with you guys. So with that said, Jesse, man, thank you so much for coming on. Getting your side and hopefully putting this to rest on the 14th, man. And if not, man, it is what it is. It's the fighting game, man. So with that said, Jesse, we have your at least your Instagram over here. I don't know any other social media you have. It's usually Facebook and Instagram. Everything else is kind of lacking. Even though Musk just took over Twitter, so maybe we'll all jump on Twitter now. But with that said, Jesse, man, I'll see you in a couple of weeks on May 14th. For NEF 47th. Main event, bro. Pleasure. Can't wait to see the rest of the card, the rest of the fighters there doing all work, man. So with that said, Jesse, you have a great night, and we'll talk to you real soon.
You too, Steve. Thanks again, man.
Don't hang up yet. All right, we out, people. Next week, I have, who do I have? Nate Grimard on. We're going to talk about his second professional fight. And I think I might have a training partner on here also of his. So we'll see. So with that said, thank you for tuning in tonight. We'll see you next Wednesday night in the Room Podcast. We out of here.